Blue Protocol is back, but this time it's wearing new armor. Star Residence revives the anime MMO that many of us thought was gone for good, but does this reborn version live up to the original dream, or is it just another flashy grind with a new coat of paint? Today I'm diving deep into Blue Protocol Star Residence, covering gameplay, monetization, and whether this revival is worth your time. I'm Katie East, and this is my honest review. For anyone new to the series, Blue Protocol started as Bandai Namco's ambitious anime-style MMO, praised for its gorgeous art and action combat. Unfortunately, its global launch plans fell apart and the game's servers eventually shut down. Enter Star Residence, published by Tencent, a revival built on the same IP but reworked with new systems, monetization, and features aimed at both PC and mobile players. It's not just a relaunch, it's a reimagining. Let's start with the obvious. Star Residence looks stunning. The cel-shaded art and lighting makes every zone feel alive, like a scene pulled straight from a high-budget anime. Character models are expressive, animations are fluid, and even simple attacks pop with energy. That said, it's not flawless. Some textures can feel a bit flat up close, and when crowds of players gather, you'll definitely feel frame dips on the mid-range PCs, but overall, it's one of the most stylish MMOs out there right now. Character creation is solid, plenty of sliders, hairstyles, and accessories to make your avatar unique. You can even fine-tune facial features more than most anime MMOs allow. As you can see, my character turned out pretty good. Classes are where things get fun. You've got familiar roles, you've got your sword and shield tank as your shield knight, verdant oracle as healer, heavy guardian as tank, marksman for long range, frost mage for spellcaster, wind knight and stormblade as DPS, and beat performer as support. Each class also includes 2 specializations, all with distinct combat styles. You can switch between them, but it takes some progression time, so picking your main still matters. I wouldn't say that there's any really better than others, but it's going to vary on how skillfully you can perform with your class. Let's talk about questing. The main quest has you running around a lot of the time. The start is kinda slow, but with any MMO, they have to build up the story, and you're going to be talking to quite a bit of people, so don't let that make or break this game for you. You just have to get through it. Plus, the questing seems like it's not going to take too long to get done. Now, the actual story didn't capture my attention much, mainly because there was no English voice acting. It's just something that I really enjoy in my games, but the story seemed pretty simple. It's not a bad story, but it's not a great story. Combat in Star Residence is fast, flashy, and surprisingly deep. You've got basic attacks that can be chained, dodges to avoid telegraph strikes, and flashy ultimates that light up the screen. Timing matters. Perfect dodges give you openings, and chaining abilities right feels incredibly satisfying. I do like that there's a very good build variety in this game, as the talent tree is pretty big. And for having only 5 main skills, 1 ultimate, and 2 imagine slots, I feel like there isn't a whole lot of button spamming. You actually have to do a rotation and read your abilities to figure out what they do. There is an auto combat feature in the game, which I kind of dislike, but I think another game like Throne and Liberty could have benefited from adding auto combat to their game for some of the more tedious mob grinding, and I feel like it definitely helps with Blue Protocol to have it in there, but they could have made their content so they wouldn't have to put the auto combat in there. Boss fights are the highlight here. They demand mobility and awareness rather than just spamming buttons. It's a system that feels rewarding once you master it. The Unstable Space, Chaotic Realm, and Steinman Vaults are your dungeons, and I would say they're pretty easy so far, but there is some mechanics that you have to watch out for, especially in the hard versions of the dungeons. Your boss fights are going to be the Guild Hunt bosses, World Boss Crusade, and the main world bosses. They are pretty simple with less mechanics and more dodging their attacks. Movement in this game is top notch. There's 2 movement abilities so far that make traversing the world a little easier. You will also eventually get more jumps, wall running, and wall kicks that will make this movement feel insane. If you enjoy action-focused MMOs like Crystal of Atlan or Tower of Fantasy, you'll feel right at home here. Though Star Residence leans more into that classic MMO structure with dungeons, parties, and defined roles. Now, the gearing in this game is pretty easy. You'll be getting gear from the Unstable Space, Chaotic Realm, the Gear Exchange, World Bosses, Event Activities, Pioneer Awards, and the Dragon Shackles raid that has yet to come out. So it's pretty easy to get gear so far. There is a couple different ways to upgrade your gear, which is refining, reforming, and embedding. These systems are pretty self-explanatory. Exploration feels good, with vertical areas to climb, hidden treasure nodes, and resource gathering points. There are crafting systems, mounts, and even side activities like fishing and housing. The leisure activities are pretty boring, most of them just have you standing around and waiting. I like the events in Throne and Liberty if you ever played that, so that's what I was hoping that would be like. The life skills feel pretty in-depth. You can unlock 2 right away, but as you complete more of the story, you should be able to unlock every single one of them. The life skills have their own mastery system, which lets you unlock more things to mine and collect. To get more resources, you'll need to spend focus, which has a daily cap of 400. You'll spend this focus on any of the life skills and crafting, but you can still get some of the more common resources if you have no focus left. I thought the life skills could have been implemented in a better way. I was very disappointed to hear that they had an energy or focus system for the life skills, but at least they have life skills, so it's better than nothing. The social hub is where the game really shines. Tons of players hanging out, showing off outfits, forming parties, and emote spamming like it's a festival. The daily and weekly activities are pretty easy to complete, which makes it kinda easier on yourself when you're trying to get these done. The game really respects your time with these daily and weeklies, which I am super happy with. Your daily activities are going to feature the Unstable Space, Guild Cargo, Guild Check-In, your daily missions, Boss Hunt, and Elite Hunts, which you can find in your features menu. The weeklies will consist of the Chaotic Realms, Diamond Vaults, your Guild Activity, World Boss Crusade, Guild Hunt, and Guild Dance. So all of these take a couple minutes to get done usually, so don't feel too overwhelmed. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, monetization. Star Residence is a free-to-play game, and yes, it comes with gacha elements. You'll roll for certain companions, cosmetics, and some progression items. To its credit, nothing feels fully pay to win early on, but as you reach higher levels, you'll notice a few systems nudging you towards premium purchases. Time gates and limited stamina systems can also slow down your progression unless you spend currency to refresh them. I'd like to touch on some of the cosmetics and mounts a little bit more. They do have quite a bit of cosmetics in this game, and most of them are pretty decent looking, to be honest. I haven't bought any of them yet, but I do plan on grabbing a couple here and there. The mounts are alright. I feel like the movement of the mounts in this game is a little off. It could be a little snappier, but I seem to get more and more used to it as I play. Mounts look alright, but nothing too amazing that I've seen so far. The prices on the outfits are alright, maybe a little bit expensive for my taste, but it's not the worst that I've seen. You also have to keep in mind that there is a gacha system for these mounts and cosmetics as well, so unless you want to spend a lot of money, I would suggest getting the ones out of the shop, as they're going to be a little cheaper for most people depending on your luck. It's not terrible, but it's something to keep an eye on if you're allergic to aggressive monetization. Performance-wise, it's okay. The game runs well enough most of the time, but heavy areas and world bosses can cause noticeable lag, especially during launch week chaos. Server stability has improved since the initial release, but ping issues still depend heavily on your region. Nothing game-breaking, but not perfectly polished either. I did think the UI could have been cleaned up a little bit more for PC, but compared to the mobile UI, I feel like it's definitely a lot better, and looks a little bit cleaner for PC. There is a lot of different menus and things to collect from the menus, which also makes it pretty mobile-like, but hey, at least we're getting free stuff, right? So let's break it down. Here are your pros and cons. Pros: beautiful anime visuals that genuinely impress, engaging responsive combat, strong character customization and class variety, fun and engaging dungeons and world bosses, lots of socialization, story and world immersion, character movement, and endgame content. Your cons: monetization could easily cross the line for some players, repetitive early game grind, performance still needs polishing, complexity for new players, auto combat, focus system for life skills, UI, and mount movement. In the end, Blue Protocol Star Residence is a promising revival that mostly delivers on style and gameplay, but still has work to do in pacing and monetization. If you're into anime MMOs with fluid combat and cooperative dungeons, this one's absolutely worth checking out. But if you're tired of gacha systems and time gates, you might want to wait to see how the updates shake out. I have about 40 hours so far, so I feel like that's a good starting point for the beginning of the game. I will be making another full review when all the content is released, so definitely be on the lookout for that. For me, I'd give Star Residence a solid 7 out of 10. Fun, flashy, and full of potential, but not quite the masterpiece it could have been. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe for more MMO and anime game breakdowns. Let me know in the comments, are you playing Star Residence, or are you waiting to see how Tencent handles it? Until next time, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next video.